mud here, and here, this point which you see over here is the zeroth dimension, which is simply a point. It has no length, it has no width. If you stack this point an infinite amount of times into the first dimension, we would get a line like this, and this line represents the first dimension. It has length, but it does not have thickness, it does not have width. If you were to stack these one of these lines an infinite amount of time upon itself, we would get this square or a rectangle which depicts the second dimension. Now, we as three-dimensional beings can only see two dimensions. And this is also the reason why this piece of paper is two-dimensional. This is also the reason why our phones have the two-dimensional screen, why our TV and monitors also have two-dimensional screens, because even though we are living in 3 dimensions, we cannot totally perceive these 3 dimensions. We can only perceive, our eyes can only see in 2 dimensions. For example, here are two-dimensional beings, and they have a box which has a diamond in it. Now, they cannot see this diamond because their view is being blocked by the box. And so these as two-dimensional beings can only perceive 1 dimension at a time, just as how we as three-dimensional beings can only perceive 2 dimensions at a time. The diamond is invisible to these 2D people. And an example in our 3 dimensions would be a box, a chest in which you would keep a diamond. It would be invisible to us because it is enclosed in that box, but a 4th dimensional being would be able to see it. Now, because even though we live in a 3-dimensional world, we can only draw in 2 dimensions because we can only perceive 2 dimensions at a time. So I'm going to take this square, or rectangle technically, and stack it upon itself an infinite amount of times, and eventually I would get a cube. This is a 2D depiction of a 3D object. Now, how would we depict something which is 4D? Now, depicting something which is 4D in 2 dimensions is extremely hard. Some people do that by taking a cube like this and stacking it upon another cube and stacking it upon another cube, and at the end you just get a mess. You cannot properly depict something which is 4-dimensional and when you're just limited to 2 dimensions. But now how the best we can depict the 4th dimension is to take our drawing into the 3rd dimension. There is a cube beneath this cube, and this would be a depiction of the 4th dimension. This right here is the closest depiction of the 4th dimension we can have.